Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome to our next Channel 5 Gaming Planet Coaster contest. This is the PlanCo Shops contest. Alright, I'm very excited about this one, and for those of you who remember the shop brand contest from last year, this is actually quite different. I got a lot of examples to give today, and ways to show you how to excel in this contest and exactly what it's all about. So let's just dive into the text here for a second. Channel 5 Gaming's newest contest will feature shops and facilities with a PlanCo Spin. This contest is similar to last year's shop brand contest, however we have a very special parameters and constraints to make these shops have extra PlanCo seasoning. Our first requirement is that you pick a mascot from the Entertainers tab. These are your representatives for your shop or restaurant. King Coaster, Festive King Coaster, King Ghoster, Captain Lockjaw, Renee Fu, Miss Ellie, Dex R, Princess Emily, Chief Beef, Gulpy Rex, Foxy Tiki, and Cosmic Cow. Once you have chosen your representative, you must now conceptualize a shop or restaurant that is owned and run by said mascot. It is vital and required that you remember to build in an entertainer point found in the custom building shops for your shop owner / entertainer. We want these shops to be fairly big and include some sort of an interior. You don't need to overdo it to a point where you're decorating a giant 4-story box. We simply want some sort of interaction of guests going in and out of your restaurant or shop, while also stopping by to visit your entertainer, who could be located inside or even outside at an entertainment stand. Having some indoor and even outer areas will allow your subscribers to take advantage of the new picnic tables, so your shops will have a lively vibe about them. You may use any combination of food, drink, and souvenirs, while also being allowed bathrooms and ATMs. However, no staff management buildings are allowed. Also keep in mind that we will be judging your shop choice combination based off your mascot chosen. If you pick a Chief Beef, you best be selling burgers, while including fries and drinks seems like a fine combination. Picking something like Captain Lockjaw leaves you with much more creative freedom, as he is not tied to any particular food brand. So this is your opportunity to invent one or even make it a souvenir shop. And just a note on this, guys, you could technically make a Chief Beef souvenir shop or some sort of Cosmic Cow souvenir shop that's doing just a memento and stuff like that, I suppose, as long as you can sell it to us. Maybe it's Chief Beef's kitchen accessories shop, or I don't know, Cosmic Cow's baby clothing line. So that is still open as long as you can sell it to us and make it apparent. Keep in mind, any art style and themes are welcome. While Cosmic Cow is traditionally sci-fi, if you sell us on a fantasy dairy farm, we will be more than excited with this type of originality and creativity. All we care is that it matches both your mascot and your chosen shops, while also screaming PlanCo. One tip before you continue, you can excel at making setup easy for your subscribers by building with a square grid fill system. Then use the new barriers to force guests to walk around things that would normally be hard to path around. Work smart, not hard. And I will give an example of this to you guys in game just in a second. So here are the details, guys. We're going to be launching the contest now until February 8th, which is a Thursday at 11:59 p.m. So you have roughly 3 weeks to work on this, and it should be coming up right after the current contest, the scenario contest ends. We'll be choosing top 3 winners for each bracket, and first place winners will receive a game from our prize list. So for the contest rules, guys, you guys can have a read over here. The link to this document will also be in Discord. If you want to participate in this contest, guys, and you are not a Discord member, you have to come join us on Discord. Information on how to join the community is down below, and once you get in, you'll be able to find this whole document. So just to give a quick rundown here, your shop or restaurant must be themed around one of the 13 mascots. You may use any art style or theme, so modern, sci-fi, fantasy, western, pirate, adventure, spooky, and you can also do things like steampunk, Aztec, Asian, so long as you sell it to us strongly. And I made a little point here, I feel Miss Ellie represents steampunk too, and I could also see an argument for Gulpy fitting well in the Asian section, and many other ideas. You must include an entertainment point. You must have some sort of an interior. Bigger isn't necessarily better, just something. You may use up to 5 shops within the blueprint. This includes ATMs and bathrooms, so pick wisely. So for example, if you're doing Chief Beef, you could do a burger, fries, drink, bathroom, and an ATM. Bam. Or you could do 2 burgers, 1 drink, 1 fry, and a bathroom. The submissions must be in a form of a placeable 4K blueprint. No coasters or rides. There is the exception. You may use track pieces or river rapids for decoration, but use it sparingly. These should not become massive blueprints. No fireworks, no billboards, only one submission per member. You are not allowed to submit old creations. Do not use other people's work. Do not redecorate old buildings. And your upload date must be from between now and February 8th. I changed the date. Judges may not participate in the contest. So for the judging, guys, I have broken this down quite nicely for you guys. Based off last year's shop contest, we had 120 submissions. I suspect we'll have more than that because we have like double the Discord members. So we will likely have all 6 brackets competing on their own. Maybe Legends and Masters will have to get grouped together, but hopefully our Legends all participate and they will be their own bracket. So for the scoring, guys, I broke it down really nicely for you guys this time. So artistry, that's always been pretty straightforward. The level of detail and polish, that's 5 points. Branding and theme, that's 5 points. So how well did you sell the brand of your entertainer? Does the branding fit the shop type? Is Fantasy a Cosmic Cow dairy farm? Is your Western Chief Beef a slaughterhouse? We want to see some cohesion between your brand, the type of shops used, and your entertainer. Did you incorporate colors from your entertainer? Think about your colors, guys. Did you think of fun accessories based off your entertainer style? So think about that stuff too, guys. So that's your theming in a nutshell. So this stuff is really nicely broken down for you guys. So your building interior, you get a point if you made one. You get 2 points if it was pretty. You get 3 points if it's both the above and looks easy to set up. So if you make us some crazy complicated building with multiple stairs, multiple floors, it's probably going to not get the 3 points, but it might get 2. Entertainment point, it's a simple 2 points. Did you put one in? 2 points. Is it in a clever and well-decorated area? So how nicely did you fit it in? And then you have your signage / labeling. This is kind of like your sign out front to welcome you into the store. This is 1 point. You place down a default game sign. So the Chief Beef sign is in the game already. You put one on the front. Boom. You built your own custom sign. That's 2 points. You made an amazing sign that matched your entertainer and your theme. So this is stuff we see from people who do custom art shapes to create beautiful signs. That's how you're going to get 3 points. We will be looking at your lighting. So I put here, you get 0 points if you didn't put much or any thought into your lighting. 1 point if you included nice lighting, and 2 points if you really put a lot of thought into it. Colors, vibrant, interior, exterior, all that stuff. And boom, there you go. It all adds up to a max of 20 points per judge. We may or may not have 3 or 4 judges this time. We will see. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Submission form to submit this is in here, as well as it's going to be in Discord. For our prizes, guys, we have 2 Humble Bundle monthly accounts growing our prize pool every month, and we also have various games donated from community members. So we have a freaking huge library of games, as you guys can see here. If we scroll down, this is from the most expensive all the way down, and we have to update this because we have a whole bunch of new games we've added in, but there's over 160 games, maybe 170 now, in our prize pool. So there you go. Come join us on Discord, win some prizes, and have some fun participating. All right, guys, let's go into game and break it down a little bit further. All right, so here we are in game. You can see we have all the different mascots. We want your shops to be themed around them. They are all depressed now. I've left them running here. They're not doing anything. All right, so one of our judges is going to be Wix, and he has created an example for us. He just put work into this, I think about 15 hours. He worked all Saturday. So thank you so much, Wix, for helping me come up with the theme of this contest and building an example. So here we can see this is Miss Ellie's loot shop, dynamite, oil, and ammunition. His theme here is steampunk. Ellie is a Western style character. Her entertainment point is inside this loot tent. Very beautiful work here, Wix. So as you can see, we have a steampunk airship, lots of loot out front, and it's kind of like a souvenir shop. It's very nicely decorated. This might be like the little boarding ship to take you to and from the ship. And this is a very eccentric style. It's not a restaurant, it's a souvenir shop. And it takes Miss Ellie and it plays on Western slightly differently, taking it to steampunk. So this is a great example of the complexity you guys can do to take this to the next level. Now, he did make a custom sign, and as I mentioned in the rules here, this would probably score a 2. because he did a custom sign, but it's not really arty custom. He didn't make everything out of basic shapes and stuff like that, but he did decorate it. He put some nice stuff on it. He used the custom font and things like that. He didn't just take a sign and type in Miss Ellie. So he took it to the next level. So that's, for me, a 2 out of 3. And if you guys were to make something out of, basic shapes or something of that nature, that's how you're going to get a 3. And I'll show you some examples of a 3 in a second here. So we go on inside, and it's just a memento. Makes sense. It fits. He's only used one shop, which is absolutely fine. You do not have to use all 5. You can just have one. So this is a great example from one of our legend builders and judges, Wix. Here's another one from Wix that he made for our Halloween Spooky Blueprints series. It's the Magic Bookstore. And I decided we would kind of use this as an example today on another one that you could do that is out of the ordinary. He did not have an entertainer stand. I kind of just plopped this one down in the corner by the fireplace. I thought that would be a good place for it. But we're just trying to put that in there to make it show that this could have been a good submission for this contest. So we got the Ghoster, Planet Ghoster, and he's the entertainer. This is his Magic Bookstore. So if this were to get updated, it would be like Mr. or Planet Ghoster's Magic Bookstore, something like that. And for the most part, it hits all the requirements. It has an interior. It looks beautiful on the inside, and it's selling just a memento, and it also has a bathroom. So very good there. And like I said, it has the interior. It looks great on the outside. Hits all the check boxes, and it's Mr. Ghoster's or Planet Ghoster's Magic Bookstore. So that's a great example as well, created by Wix. Alright guys, I'm going to show you some examples from our previous contest, and just to rant on this a little bit, this is what I really wanted from the shop brand contest, and we will probably revisit the shop brand contest. The shop brand contest, we've seen a lot of things like KFC, In-N-Out burgers, and we saw some very, very creative stuff, but I was hoping to see some things that were iconic to Planet Coaster from that contest, which we did, but it was not as much as I would have liked. So I took the winners, some of the winners from that contest that did go in the PlanCo direction, and I'm going to show them off here. So not to worry guys, the shop brand contest will come back as a shop brand 2 eventually in the future, and this will be your opportunity to make things like a Starbucks and things of that nature. This time we want to see stuff that is PlanCo. So he didn't have an entertainment stand originally. I just kind of plopped one down in the corner here, but overall it's a Foxy's coffee shop, and he went with his own custom theme. This is another example of how you could be eccentric. It doesn't have to be Western, fantasy, or sci-fi. It can be modern, and that's what we're seeing here. We got a little bit of an old town, gas town feeling building, some beautiful tile work with the kind of like the coffee colors and stuff like that. He's really thought about the colors here, the red, the brown, and then mixed it in with the old town colors as well, but brought a little bit of PlanCo vibrance to it. So this is a great example from Woody, who actually won the contest in the master bracket. All right, and moving on, this was another one of our winners. I can't remember the bracket exactly, but this was created by Operate Tour, and he called this one the Milkshaker. It's Cosmic Cow done fantasy. Now I just plopped down the entertainer stand here. Obviously you want to think about how to incorporate that a little bit better. Maybe if it was built in one of the barns, that would have been cool, but we are selling milkshakes here, as well as there's a bathroom in this barn. And this is a very good art style, as it had sci-fi on the inside of this building here. So you might think it's fantasy, but it's also got a twist of Cosmic Cow in there. All the beautiful Cosmic Cow colors are incorporated, and then you have this beautiful, luscious fantasy barnyard area, and also the colors are integrated here very nicely. So this is a great example of how you can take something to the next level, and you don't have to make Cosmic Cow particularly sci-fi. You could do something very original and unique. And here we go. Everyone probably remembers this one from Gushin, and this was one of the winners of his bracket, I think first place, and he did the Cosmic Cow Mothership. It screams Cosmic Cow, it's sci-fi, it has little cosmic cows in it. This is a 3 out of 3 custom sign, all made out of basic shapes. It's bubbly, it fits the sci-fi cosmic universe. It's very friendly text. It fits Cosmic Cow perfectly. And on the inside there were milkshakes, ice cream, and it's a diner. It's absolutely gorgeous in here. And then there's an entertainer stand that I did not put down. He already included that. So this would also be an amazing example. And I think recently he's added in a sequencer. He updated it later when the sequencer came out. So very good job on this one with that cool little sequencer. So that one was created by Gushin. And these are winners from the previous contest that did PlanCo style. We had plenty other winners that did things that were not PlanCo. I just want to show these ones off today because they were examples of how you can excel in this contest and what we're looking for. So let's move on to some more, I guess, traditional things. So for me, this is something that I made. This is a Cosmic Cow ice cream or milkshake parlor, and you can see that it's a sci-fi set. They're building their own stuff. We got milk vats and things that churn the milk and freeze the milk, and it's all incorporated. We got flavors on top. I've built my own Cosmic Cow statue, and we do have a nice small interior. It's, like I said, bigger is not necessarily better, guys. This will do. Now, sure, we don't have room for picnic tables or anything like that, but that's quite all right. That was only me suggesting. That's not a requirement. We can't include picnic tables in our blueprints. So, you know, we're just going to assume if you have a nice little open area off to the side, we can plop down a couple picnic tables. So this one does work, even though it's small. It's kind of quaint inside. It has some decorations. It has a couple milkshake things, and it has a Cosmic Cow entertainment point. So this is also a pretty decent example for this contest. And here's another one created by me. It's Planet Gulpy. This sign is definitely like a 1. It's not that great, but it does match in terms of color. Now this one is all about, at the time, I don't think we had Gulpy Energy. The green one, a soda. It was the soda. And we didn't have Missy Goods at the time either. So my idea with this one is it's a 7-Eleven run by Gulpy. So everything is like kind of cosmic for Planet Coaster. There's some Planet Coaster colors in there and cosmic stuff. All the colors between the blue and pink match the Gulpy. They have the different stuff for the energy juice and the slushies brewing on top. So this is definitely another sci-fi one. And then inside, we're selling the 2 different Gulpies, hot dogs, coffees, a bathroom. So these are all the different things that you would see in a 7-Eleven. And then we have an entertainer point at the back. And then you're selling chips and things like that in the aisles and that sort of thing. So if I were to try and like tune this a little bit to fit this contest better, probably wouldn't have included the donuts, or at least I would have had the donuts on the inside. It does make sense to get donuts from a 7-Eleven, but that does kind of cross over to Missy Goods. But since Missy Goods is not a mascot in this game, I think it does still work here, because you would see donuts in a 7-Eleven, you would see coffee. Now, I do think because there's a Foxy mascot already, it might not be the best to kind of merge the two. We want one, and I think this kind of impedes on it a little bit. So what I would probably do if I were to update this is remove the coffee, and I would include the soda, the Gulpy soda, and then you come in here and you get hot dogs and energy drinks and pop. That would make a little bit more sense to me. And I do think maybe the Missy Goods doesn't hurt too much. But yeah, other than that, it works pretty darn great for this contest. And I do want to give a little mention here, because I was going to talk about pathing, guys. So if we were to like set the pathing up for this was done before the barrier system. So really, the pathing was simple. You start with a grid and you work from the shops outward, and then you just fill it all in. And so this is why I was saying, like, think smart. Don't work hard, work smart. Now, one problem that you run into with these kind of exterior and interior buildings is if I were to path here and make it so my guests could walk through these aisles, they're going to walk through the wall. So what you can actually do now, you can include these barriers in your blueprint. You are able to upload them with the blueprint. So if I were to kind of stuff some barriers inside of the walls here, I guess I got to hide that a little bit better. Might be tricky with this glass, but I'm sure you can find the sweet spot or cover it up. Yeah, that's a good spot right there. It's perfectly in between. And you just fill the walls up, and that means the guests will not pass by the barriers. This will now allow me to basically have a pathway here. And now the guests will actually walk up and down the aisles. So this was before the barrier system. I made it just so basically the guests will walk to here, go into the bathroom, stop by to get entertained by him as they leave the bathroom stalls or whatever, and it all pops together quite easily. I guess I have to still grid it. Anyways, you guys get it. There, pop. So, yeah, this was the only interactive spot. If I were to think about doing this in the future, probably slide this shelf over right down here, put a barrier through it, and then people would walk up and down the aisles and also up against this window here without passing through. So if you're doing these tight spots, guys, think about how you can use the barriers to your advantage. Another reason that I have this kind of garden here is because when I want people to set up the pathing, if I had a path right here, again, they would have walked through this wall. So I had to separate it with a one grid piece decoration, which is the garden. And now people will walk around it. Now you can do things a lot more compact. You don't have to divide paths the way I have. And you don't have to have separators because you could just use barriers. So include the barriers in your layouts and think about that, as it can actually improve your designs dramatically. All right, and moving on, this I think is a great unconventional way of thinking. King Coaster isn't necessarily a food thing or a souvenir thing. He's just the coaster guy. So there are ways to think of using him creatively, and this is one of them. So this is Coaster King's Royal Bank that I created sometime last year. It's a sci-fi themed again. It's got tons of turrets and stuff. And then if we go on in, there's some ATMs here, ATMs there, and we have our entertainer point in front of a big gold vault. And now we have all that new gold with the DLC. This probably would have made it a little bit better. The main shop here is all about customer service and information. There's a bathroom and ATMs. So while we don't have, like, we want to see something for this contest that's not, like, the bathrooms and the ATMs are tertiary. So for this one, the information booth would have been required. And this kind of is the main selling point. But I've added in bathrooms and ATMs. But the overall theme is a bank, so obviously you want to see some ATMs. The guests are going in here to basically get more cash and some information. And this does sell the Coaster King, and it works with him. And it kind of, you know, it's a good example of something that you can do that's unconventional and something different. And I could also see people using pieces of coaster track, smash it into a building or something, and turn it into some sort of souvenir shop. There are different ideas out there, so don't shy away from some of the mascots that might seem unconventional. And yeah, those are most of my examples. I have a couple over here that are basically bad examples. We don't have a Missy Goods mascot, right? So that's not going to work. However, if we did, this would be a great example. We have all the colors. It looks kind of like a Starbucks. I designed the building to be a little bit more like a Starbucks building. Interior needs some work still, I'll have to admit. I left room here for benches, and now you can actually use picnic tables. Probably could have used a little bit more plants and nice things on the inside, but I didn't really put too much thought into the inside. But it is there. There's an interior, has all the Missy Goods kind of memorabilia and colors. I've made cookie trees and things like that. So if Missy Goods was a mascot, this would be a good example, but she's not. So, but if you apply this kind of thing to maybe Foxy, it probably work a little bit better. And here was a Chief Beef one. This is kind of a bad example one. Shops are just on the front. It doesn't have an interior. However, I think the theming and the representation of Chief Beef is quite good. So it does some things well. You can see that there's all these big flame things. It's grilling burgers. You know, it looks like a sci-fi giant burger factory production plant. And we're selling jumbo burgers. Got mustard pumps and ketchup pumps. All sorts of crazy stuff here. So had this had an interior or maybe an outside patio as well, an entertainment point, boom, there you go, it works. So this one doesn't work in this current state, but it definitely has the potential, and it sells Chief Beef. The sign is a little bit basic, so it wouldn't score too high there. So yeah, definitely works, but needs a lot of improvements, but it shows you guys something to think about for Chief Beef. So before I end it off, guys, let's take a look at our mascots again. King Coaster, can you come up with something unique for him? I showed you one example there. We have the Festive Coaster, so think about gingerbread, think about candy. He works great for that stuff. We might not have a Missy Goods, but we have a Festive King Coaster, and I think he works great for candy and gingerbread. Ghoster, we have the new Halloween DLC. What kind of ways can you make that into a shop? Captain Lockjaw, the king of the pirates. Can you make cool pirate stuff and turn it into a shop? What kind of things would he be selling at his shop? Also, I'm not opposed to the idea of sci-fi pirates, so think about that. Renee, she's part of the new adventure DLC. We saw some amazing stuff. Let me pull this up right now before I forget. Snake. This was created by Floss in one of the scenarios that you guys have not seen yet, and it was absolutely amazing. We were laughing and freaking out. This is the snake shakes, and she's literally grinding up snakes into juice and selling them as shakes. Well, it might not work for this contest because it doesn't have an interior. It doesn't have a stand. This kind of style is so cool. I could totally see her be running a, gator stew, snake shakes and something else. She could be running some kind of crazy adventure DLC building that has all this stuff included in a much bigger version of the snake shakes. So there's a lot of potential there with this new mascot and the adventure DLC. So think about it, guys. Miss Ellie works great for Western, steampunk. Can you think of anything else? I don't know, but there she is. Dex R, he never gets any attention, guys. Somebody give him some attention. Look how sad he is. Nobody ever uses this guy. It's time for someone to make a Dex R restaurant or souvenir shop. And does it have to be sci-fi? I don't know. Maybe. He could also run like a Planet Pizza. Think about that. Well, we don't have a Pip Shop mascot. Well, he could be the pizza guy. Princess Emily, the queen of fantasy. I could see a ton of good things coming out of fantasy, and she's a great representative. She has a ton of great vibrant colors about her. Very pretty. So think about your design, your color theory, the fact that she is a princess. What can you do with that in a fantasy setting? Chief Beef, well, everybody loves Chief Beef. Chief Beef Raceways, Chief Beef everything. I love me some Chief Beef. And he's a security guard. So I think he would have worked great for a staff management building, especially because they have the security option, but we're not doing that. However, I think while he may be your standard guy, I still think there's a lot to be explored with the Chief Beef stuff. Chief Beef Slaughterhouse for fantasy or western. Don't just think about Chief Beef sci-fi modern restaurants. I think it could be pushed a lot further, but I still think there's a lot to be seen in terms of like a Chief Beef burger restaurant that's very modern, that looks like a White Spot or looks like a castle, White Castle or whatever. So don't overlook the Chief Beef, guys. Gulpy is definitely a tricky one. He's a dinosaur. I did this one back in the day, sci-fi, that I think really represents Gulpy because it is a gigantic T-Rex, but there's no interior. It's definitely a sci-fi shop. There could be an entertainer point, but there's no interior. But this is what I thought of when I thought of what can I do with Gulpy. And then I've also made the Gulpy soda production plant. So this is a factory where they brew Gulpy Energy and Gulpy Soda, and I've themed it on both sides. So again, thinking about your colors, we got green and yellow, blue and yellow, and then I made like my own little derpy statue, but it's a coaster. So I still think there's room to make a Gulpy Soda production factory. That could be very cool. Gulpy Swampland Juice or something like that. You could even do like an Asian temple of some sort. Yeah, just give it some thought, guys. Foxy, definitely my favorite, one of my favorites. Love me some coffee. Can never get enough coffee, so think about your different festive coffees. We got pumpkin spice coffee, gingerbread spice coffee. You got all your fancy coffees. Do you want to make upscale, downscale, futuristic? I still think there's a lot to be explored with the coffee, so think about it. Tiki Cheeky, pretty straightforward, sells chicken and beef. It's going to be in a jungle temple. I'm curious to see if someone can kind of push this to the next level and come up with something different. But I also think he has a lot of great colors about him. The purple, the green, the yellow, the orange. I mean, it's going to make some vibrant looking shops. So don't count him out either. And of course, our beloved Cosmic Cow. Everybody loves Cosmic Cow. Love the colors. You got your white, your pink, and your blue. Those are great colors for making vibrant shops, and we've seen a ton of good winners and things come out of the Cosmic Cow series. So while it may be a little bit overdone, I still want more of it. So don't be afraid of doing Cosmic Cow. Do not shy away from her. Let's see something new and innovative from Cosmic Cow. So there you go, guys. There are some examples there for you. I will include the links to these blueprints down in the description below, so you can give them a download and take a closer look at them for yourselves. Get thinking creatively, get those juices flowing, and think PlanCo. It's a Planet Coaster contest. It's all about the mascots, the colors, the vibrance, and the shops. So there you go, guys. I hope you have a ton of fun with it. Good luck to all the contestants, and be sure to join us on Discord if you're interested in joining an awesome Planet Coaster community. Links are down in the description below, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.